plasma bolt tore into the ESS Honoria's hull, shattering the silence of a sacred voyage. Captain Daniel Cole felt the deck lurch. Alarms blared across the bridge.
Status. What hit us?
Direct hit. Port side. Unknown hostiles. 3 ships Vexthar design.
This is Commander Arvex. Your vessel is defenseless. Prepare to be boarded.
This is the funeral ship Honoria. We carry 14,000 honored dead. There are no weapons aboard.
Arvex's reply was another salvo. The Honoria shook as more plasma fire walked across her hull. Then, Lieutenant Chen saw it. On her monitor, the memorial alcoves lining the hull were changing. Soft white light bleeding into a faint, angry orange.
I didn't activate anything.
Across the entire ship, 14,000 memorial lights flickered, as if the dead themselves were stirring. The soft orange deepened to a fierce, uniform red-orange. Energy readings across the hull spiked without a discernible source.
Captain, the memorial alcoves are emitting a resonant energy frequency. No command input. It's originating from the plates themselves.
Beneath the white ceremonial plating, armored panels slid back. Dark, angular weapon ports emerged, lined with glowing orange filaments. The Vexthar volley struck the emerging lattice and dissipated in silent, orange ripples.
Impossible. Scan for hidden weapons. They're activating something.
My hand never touched the armament controls. This ship is defending itself, and I can't stop it.
The lattice completed, a web of red-orange light linking every alcove, transforming the Honoria into a radiant, impenetrable shield.
Captain, the defensive grid is fully online. No override possible. It's like the ship has a will of its own.
Protocol be damned. Right now, I'll take any miracle that keeps these souls safe.
On the Vexthar bridge, Commander Arvex watched the funeral ship blaze like a newborn star, his certainty evaporating. The lattice pulsed once, and every weapon port across the Honoria's hull fired in perfect unison. A single, devastating salvo aimed at the Vexthar warband. The lead Vexthar cruiser shattered, its core detonating before the crew could scream. In the span of heartbeats, the other 2 ships followed.
Time elapsed. 11 seconds. All hostiles destroyed.
No order was given. No trigger pulled.
The bridge fell silent except for the hum of life support and the faint crackle of dying static from the external comms.
Lieutenant, pull up the weapons systems log. I need to know who fired.
Mira's fingers flew across her console, but the logs told an impossible truth.
Captain, there is no manual activation record. The weapons fired on their own, triggered by the memorial grid.
The dead. They defended themselves. Or something did.
Outside, the Honoria's weapon ports sealed back beneath white plating. The orange lattice dimmed to a soft, funeral white. Captain Cole remained at his console long after the debris stopped pinging the hull. The silence demanded explanation.
Mira, pull the engineering schematics for the memorial plate network. I want to see what just saved us.
Sir, the plates are more than urns. There's a resonant crystal lattice inside each one, key to the ashes.
The tradition. Embedding the ashes isn't just ritual. It's a bond. I heard rumors of resonance tech decades ago.
He accessed the classified engineering logs. The memorial plates weren't passive. Each was a node in a unified defensive field.
It's not a weapon program. It's a resonance response, reacting to threat, powered by the bond between the ashes.
The system had no tactical controller. It was built like a poem, an automatic defense born from grief and honor.
Then the report must reflect that truth. Not a weapons discharge, but a memorial act.
In the official log, Captain Cole entered a single sentence. The honored dead resolved the incident. He encrypted the report and sent it to Earth Command. Then the Honoria continued her silent journey home, carrying her undefeated dead. 3 days later, Earth Command's reply sliced through the silence. It was neither praise nor condolence. Captain Cole, an emergency inquiry is convened. The Vexthar Empire formally accuses Earth of treaty violation. return to Earth immediately to stand before the Galactic Court.
They want to put the honored dead on trial.
Within hours, the Vexthar Empire broadcast their denunciation across all galactic channels, branding the Honoria a hidden warship.
Captain, the media is calling it Memorial Defense. Half the feeds say it's a hoax, the other half whisper miracle.
Cole ordered the Honoria onto a new course toward Earth. Each light year now a countdown to judgment.
14,000 souls deserve a memorial, not a courtroom.
The ship sailed on, her memorial lights steady, but now they seem to carry an unspoken defiance.
Lieutenant, compile every schematic, every log of the resonance system. When we stand before that court, we stand with the dead.
And so the Honoria continued home, the weight of a galaxy's judgment pressing against her hull. The galactic court station floated like a cathedral of law, and the Honoria docked under the gaze of 1,000 jurisdictional cameras. Captain Cole walked the silent hall, his dress uniform suddenly feeling like a target. Inside, the circular chamber hummed with the gravity of interstellar justice.
This hearing will determine whether the ESS Honoria's defense constituted a treaty violation. Captain Daniel Cole, you are called to answer.
The Vexthar ambassador unfurled a limb toward the central hologram, his voice a chittering accusation. The humans claim a funeral ship, yet hidden weapons annihilated a Vexthar patrol. This is deception, a war crime masked as grief. The hologram replayed the 11 seconds of annihilation, the Honoria blazing, the Vexthar ships shattering.
Captain Cole, this court requires your explanation. How can an unarmed ship execute a military-grade counterattack without human command?
They don't understand. This isn't about weapons. It's about keeping a promise.
Cole gripped the podium, the weight of 14,000 names steadying his voice.
Arbiter, the Honoria is not a warship. She is a funeral vessel on a sacred run that predates the treaty.
The judges leaned forward. A low murmur rippled through the gallery.
Each of the 14,000 memorial plates contains the ashes of a fallen officer. It is our tradition to carry them home. The resonance system was never designed as a weapon. It is a memorial lattice built to echo the bond we feel for our dead.
He called up the engineering schematics, revealing the crystal circuits embedded in each plate.
It has no targeting algorithm, no tactical override. It only responds when the dead are directly threatened. The engineers who built it called it a poem, a final promise that the honored dead would never be undefended.
A poem that destroyed 3 ships in 11 seconds.
Yes, Arbiter, because the dead kept their promise too.
The chamber fell into a thick silence. Even the prosecution seemed momentarily lost for words. The defense called for the resonance system's designer, but the old engineer was long dead. Her words survived only in a recorded deposition. The resonance lattice is not a weapon. It is a quantum attunement field keyed to the ash's unique energy. No aggression protocols exist in its circuitry. The Vexthar ambassador interjected with a screech of objection, but the arbiter raised a slender hand.
This court will examine all evidence. Proceed with the deposition.
Cole stood aside as the hologram illuminated, showing a lattice tuned not to threat but to grief. It reacts to the protective intent of the living and the memory embedded in the ashes. No tactical command can override this, for the dead have no interest in conquest.
Could such a field be used offensively if the living crew harbored malicious intent?
Number. The resonance requires a pure protective bond. Malice, aggression, or tactical planning would degrade the field instantly. It is powered by the sentiment of defense, not offense. The chamber absorbed the implications. Even the Vexthar ambassador's mandibles clicked in something like uncertainty. The evidence was irrefutable. The Honoria had not fired a shot. She had wept, and the universe had flinched. The court then admitted the Honoria's own AI logs, the unfeeling record of every system and subroutine during the attack. Log, timestamp, 0641. Resonance field activation detected. Source, memorial grid. Tactical analysis, null. No offensive protocols initiated. The prosecution pounced, arguing that a system powerful enough to destroy warships, regardless of intent, still constituted a weapon. The treaty does not define weapons by their intent, only by their capability. This memorial resonance is a wolf in a sheep's clothing.
Captain Cole, how do you respond to the assertion that capability alone violates the treaty?
Arbiter, if a shield protects, it is not a sword. The capability was never meant to attack. It only shields the dead, but I can feel the court leaning toward the cold logic of capability. They fear what they cannot categorize.
The court will take this evidence under advisement. We recognize the uniqueness of the system, but the treaty must be interpreted carefully.
Cole watched the judges confer, his heart pounding. The fate of the Honoria and the souls she carried hung on a razor's edge. The future of memorial defense now rested in the hands of beings who had never wept for a fallen comrade. The court declared a recess. Cole retreated to the Honoria. Seeking the only jury that mattered, he walked among the plates. 14,000 silent witnesses, their lights steady and eternal. His hand paused over one plate. Sergeant Marcus Albrecht, fallen at the Battle of Kepler Belt.
They are trying to call your defense a crime, Marcus. Can you believe that?
In his mind, he saw Albrecht's easy grin under a battlefield sun, a private joke shared before the drop.
He would have hated this. He'd have told the court to go to hell and sat down, but you never stopped fighting, did you? Even now, you are still watching our backs.
Cole straightened. The dead had already spoken. Now it was his turn to translate. When he returned to the galactic court, his stride was heavier, but his purpose was clear. He took his seat, the weight of 14,000 souls now a shield around his heart. The arbiter called the court to order. Cole stood for his final statement.
Honored judges, facts alone cannot explain the Honoria. She is a promise to the dead. For centuries, we have carried our fallen home. It is our sacred duty. The resonance feels the bond between us and the dead. It is not a weapon, it is love. Can a tradition born of grief be a crime? Do the dead have no right to resist desecration? No human hand fired. The dead defended themselves. If that is illegal, I stand guilty.
The chamber froze. Even the Vexthar ambassador remained silent.
This court will now deliberate on the definitions of weapon and memorial.
Cole sat, his heart pounding. He had spoken. The living now must choose. The judges rose and departed, the weight of history in their steps. The minutes stretched into hours. The empty courtroom, cold and indifferent, felt like a tomb. In the deliberation chamber, judges tore at the treaty's silence. Capability or intent? Weapon or mourning?
If we ban reactive memorials, we make it illegal to honor the dead. If we permit them, we risk disguising armament. We must choose.
No precedent existed. The treaty's authors never imagined grief as a power source. A senior judge invoked an old case, a ceremonial blade that killed in self-defense. The comparison cast a heavy silence. Arbiter Vex called for a vote. The room held its breath. The decision was unanimous. The courtroom doors swung open. The judges filed back to their seats, faces unreadable.
This is it. Whatever they say, I will carry our dead forward. No verdict can strip that duty.
Arbiter Solana Vex rose. The weight of a new legal category pressed down on the chamber.
This court finds the ESS Honoria did not violate the Interstellar Armament Treaty. The resonance system is not a weapon. It is a memorial function.
She struck the gavel once, the sound echoing like the closing of a sacred rite.
Henceforth, memorial defense shall be recognized as a legal category. No law shall condemn the honored dead for safeguarding their own passage.
The holographic law text shimmered into existence, the galaxy's first acknowledgement of grief as a shield.
They heard us. The dead are safe.
Captain Cole exhaled, a long breath carrying 14,000 burdens. The Vexthar ambassador slammed a chitinous fist and stormed out, his protest a hollow screech against the new precedent. The courtroom dissolved into hushed murmurs. but the ruling stood unshakable.
Now we carry them home, with the law behind us.
He stood. The verdict not merely exoneration, but a promise fulfilled. Cole descended the courthouse steps into pale station light. Lieutenant Chen and the crew waited in a respectful cluster.
Welcome back, Captain. The whole ship heard the verdict. It's a good day to carry them home.
Across the ship's monitors, news feeds carried the phrase Memorial Defense, next to images of the Honoria's glowing lattice.
It's not a headline to me, Mira. It's a promise. Time to finish what we started.
Within hours, the Honoria detached from the court station, her engines humming a low, reverent tone. She turned toward the blue jewel of Earth, her white hull catching the distant sun.
Geneva is ready for the November ceremony. The families will be there.
Cole called up the list of 14,000 names. He began to memorize the order, each name a private promise.
Every name I speak, a homecoming. I won't rush a single syllable.
The Honoria sailed on, her memorial lights a soft white beacon against the stars, carrying her dead into the final dawn. The Honoria crossed lunar orbit, the gray plains of the moon, sliding beneath her keel like a silent honor guard.
All hands man the rails. We enter Earth orbit with our dead. Let them see home one last time.
Throughout the ship, crew members lined the corridors, standing at attention. Facing the hull where memorial plates glowed, on the bridge, Cole stood and recited the names of the first 10 fallen. A private litany only he could hear. The ship's engines hushed to a whisper as she surrendered to Earth's gravity, a gentle giant coming home. Across her hull, the 14,000 memorial alcoves shimmered from soft white to a pure, brilliant glow.
Captain, the resonance field is harmonizing with Earth's magnetosphere. It's like the ship is singing.
They're saying goodbye, Mira. They're home.
The Honoria settled into a stable orbit, her silent vigil beginning just as the sun crested the planet's edge. Below, in Geneva, the ceremony hall was bathed in morning light, awaiting the names of the dead. The hall began to fill. Families in dark clothes, officers in dress uniform, quiet sobs already escaping. At the center, a long obsidian table stretched the length of the chamber, bearing 14,000 small dishes of ash. Each dish gleamed under a soft spotlight, a tiny metal plaque beside it engraved with a name. The hall filled completely, every seat taken. A murmur of grief and gratitude hummed beneath the vaulted ceiling. Captain Cole entered through a side door, flanked by an honor guard whose boots echoed on polished stone. He walked the long aisle, passing faces etched with loss, until he reached the stage. He mounted the stage and stood before the microphone. The room held its breath in absolute silence.
They are not just names. They are people. I will not rush. I will speak every one.
His hand rested on the leather-bound book of remembrance. Each page a roll call of heroes. He opened it, and the first name waited.
Lieutenant Sarah Vance.
A single chime answered, its tone clear and true, resonating from the dish like a heartbeat made of sound. The light pulsed once, a fleeting soul candle. The audience gasped. A collective intake that rippled through the hall like wind over water, breaking the silence with 1,000 whispered questions.
The dead are not silent. They are answering us. Ensign Michael Okonkwo.
The second dish answered just as cleanly, a chime, a flash, and in the vast hall, a silence that spoke louder than any eulogy. In the audience, visible now, families clutched each other, their tears a visible echo of the chimes that still hung in the air.
They are all listening, every single one. The resonance connects us all.
Name after name, Cole spoke, and each time the answer came without fail, a small miracle repeated. Cole's voice held, each name a thread in a tapestry of remembrance that the galaxy would forever honor.
Lieutenant Commander Elena Torres, Navy Cross.
The dish answered, but the chime seemed richer, as if reflecting the weight of her sacrifice at the Battle of Titan. A woman in the front row crumpled, her hand pressed to her heart. A mother, perhaps, or a widow.
Ensign James Park, 19 years old.
A shorter chime, almost fragile, like the first note of a song that never got to finish.
Chief Petty Officer William Grant, 30 years of service.
This chime harmonized with the lingering echo of the last, and for the first time, the hall itself seemed to vibrate. Through the great window, the inner area glowed a fraction brighter, as if each chime added a star to her mantle.
They are knitting themselves into a song of return.
Cole continued, the rhythm of names and chimes now a familiar cadence, each note carrying the dead deeper into eternal remembrance. Cole turned the last page. His voice, raw and hoarse, held steady for the final name.
Sergeant Marcus Albrecht.
The name hung in the air like a prayer, and the dead answered. A chime sounded deeper and longer than any before, holding the note until the hall itself seemed to breathe. Then every dish on the long table chimed in unison, a thunderous chord that shook bone and stone. The audience rose as one, weeping without shame, their grief finally released into the light. Through the great window, the Honoria blazed pure white, her memorial lights merging into a single pulsing beacon.
We carried them home, every single one.
Cole closed the book, but the light did not fade. The reading was complete, and the hall was filled with light. The silence that followed was not empty, but filled. A held breath shared by every soul in the hall. One by one, the memorial lights on the dishes began to fade, retreating from brilliant white to a soft, eternal glow. The audience, still standing, began to move toward the exits, their footsteps hushed on the stone floor. Cole bowed his head, a private benediction for the 14,000, his lips moving in a silent prayer. Through the window, the Honoria's brilliant beacon softened, her lights returning to a serene, calm white. The hall emptied, leaving only Cole, the long table of ashes, and the lingering echo of distant chimes. He stood alone for a long moment, the weight of the journey settling into his bones.
It's done. They are home.
From the table, a single dish chimed softly, without a name. As if in gentle reply, the Honoria's light outside the window dimmed to a restful glow, a sentinel at peace. Cole descended the stage steps and walked the length of the table. His footsteps the only sound in the cavernous hall. He stopped at a small dish whose plaque read Marcus Albrecht. The ashes inside glowed softly.
We made it, brother. All the way home. I wish you could see it. The whole galaxy knows your name now. They'll never forget.
He touched the rim of the dish, the metal cool against his fingertips. Then he lifted his gaze to the window, where the Honoria hung like a gentle star. As if in answer, the ship's memorial lights pulsed once, a slow, deliberate heartbeat of light.
They are still watching, always.
Cole let his hand fall, straightened his uniform, and turned toward the exit. The hall was utterly silent, the long table a constellation of soft white lights, and then the door closed behind him. Far above the silent hall, the ESS Honoria held her vigil over the blue earth. Her hull was a canvas of 14,000 points of light, each a soul returned, against the starfield. She was not a warship, but a constellation, a map of grief turned into grace. The camera drew back slowly, letting the ship shrink against the planet's curve. The stars embraced her, and for a moment she was indistinguishable from the heavens. A soft chime echoed, the same tone from the ceremony, now a cosmic lullaby. The sound traveled through the void, a remembrance that would never fade. The Honoria's lights glowed steady, a sentinel for all who would follow. The honored dead were home, and would never be undefended again. The screen faded to black, but the light remained.